So this is I've just enlisted the different sections, the different portions of an NRPU proposal template. So there are about 13 or 14 different sections an NRPU proposal template contains. So ये बिल्कुल वैसे ही हैं जैसे आपके किसी भी आप ग्रांट के लिए अप्लाई करेंगे तो यू विल एक्चुअली एनकाउंटर ऑल दीज सेक्शंस। तो आपको थोड़ा सा आइडिया होना चाहिए दैट हाउ यू विल राइट इन दीज सेक्शंस। और इसमें काफ़ी सारी चीज़ें ऐसी होती हैं जो कि थोड़ी सी रिपीट हो रही होती हैं, जो कि आपके एक सेक्शन में भी आ रही होंगी और दूसरे सेक्शन में भी आ रही होंगी। सो इसलिए आपको बाज़-औक़ात किसी सेक्शन में थोड़ा सा कम लिखना है, दूसरे किसी सेक्शन में थोड़ा ज़्यादा लिखना है। बट द क्रक्स इज़ दैट you should be focused and you should be to the point. आपको irrelevant चीज़ें उसके अंदर include करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है। So what now I'm going to do is that I will try to explain one by one all these sections of an NRPU proposal template. That what are the things which you should write in these sections. So first of all, if I start from the executive summary, so executive summary is just like an abstract जो कि आप किसी भी manuscript में लिखते हैं या किसी भी report का एक abstract होता है। So executive summary it should give the overall picture of your idea or of your project. So it should be an overview of your project, and it should actually clearly highlight the challenges and the questions which are related to the priority areas which are related to, or obviously related to our country. And then you should be able to establish that once you achieve those objectives, or once you address those challenges, then what would be the effect of their solution on the socio-economic economics of our society, or what should be there, or what would be their socio-economic impact on our society. So these are the key things which you should include in your executive summary. So आपका आइडिया बड़ा क्लियर होना चाहिए, उसके अंदर जो challenges हैं जिस भी priority area पे आप काम कर रहे हैं वो clearly आप define करें, और फिर साथ साथ आप उनका solution भी बताएं और उनका impact भी बताएं कि उनका impact क्या होगा हमारी socio-economic development में। So HEC since Pakistan की Pakistan's perspective is very important in these grants, so it is highly recommended कि आप किसी भी एक issue को जो कि हमारे सोशो इकोनॉमिक्स के साथ इन्वॉल्व है उसको आप टच करें अपने प्रोजेक्ट में किसी न किसी अंदाज में, और the chances of acceptance of such grants will be higher. और उसके साथ साथ एग्जीक्यूटिव समरी में आपने you have to tell briefly, you have to tell about your team as well. What are the roles of different team members, not very comprehensively, but very briefly you have to tell that these are the different team members which are going to involve in this project, and then you have to briefly tell what would be the responsibilities of those team members. So there is a page limitation. You should not exceed beyond one page. So executive summary is supposed to be completed in one page. So that's why it should be very concise, and it should be actually addressing all the major keywords and all the major things which are included in your project. So second जो चीज़ हमारे पास आती है, that is a priority area of national relevance and impact of proposed NRPU project on the priority area. So जैसे कि I was telling in the first in the executive summary that just try to hit one of the catchy issues, or one of the concerns which we have, or one of the challenges we have in our society, and then try to address those challenges. So इसकी मैं आपको एग्जांपल एक दे सकता हूँ that being a developing country, Pakistan obviously is facing energy scarcity and deficiency. So energy conservation has a huge demand, and also the developing countries, we have high generation costs. Electricity generation costs are also very high. So at the end of the day, you get very large amounts of electricity bills. So in this scenario, energy conservation has a huge demand. तो आप अगर अपने टॉपिक को इस तरह से लिखें कि उसका लिंक इस प्रायोरिटी एरिया से बन रहा है, इफ यू आर फॉर एग्जांपल सजेस्टिंग अ न्यू आइडिया और सम न्यू सिस्टम इन विच for example energy is conserved, then obviously you are actually having an impact on the economics of your society. So this is one of the example which I am giving you. So that's how you can actually link your project with one of the SDB goals, which is the Sustainable Development Goals, SDG. So you should try to hit one of those areas. It's not necessary, it is not mandatory, but try so that the chances of the acceptance can increase. So number 4 is the academic collaborators. So अभी इसमें थोड़ी सी confusion आती है about the academic collaborators. So academic collaborators, जैसे कि इसका टाइटल से क्लियर है, this is related with academics. So all the academic fraternity, whether they are PIs or co-PIs or any other person who is just involved in your project, but not as a co-PI, but as a consultant or whatever. So these all will come under the umbrella of academic collaborators. So इसको मैं define कर लेता हूँ. So first one is the PI, the principal investigator of your proposal. The second one is the co-PI, the co-principal investigator. And then there could be some consultants from the academic fraternity जो कि इसके अंदर आ सकते हैं, not necessarily the co-PIs. And you can have also a foreign collaborator. If you have someone in some foreign lab and you want them to get involved in your project, then they can also come in this category of academic collaborators. अच्छा, इस सेक्शन में अब आपने लिखना क्या है? सबसे पहले आपने academic collaborator के सेक्शन में you are supposed to introduce yourself. If you are the PI of the project, you need to introduce yourself. And when I'm saying about the introduction, then there are few things you should consider. So you should first write down what are your research areas and what are your plus points, what are your expertise in research. So you have to write them in one paragraph or 3 or 4 lines. That would be enough. So you have to just quickly introduce yourself, and at the same time, with relevance with the project, you should also try to mention that what would be your role in this project. So you should clearly define that what would be your part in this project. जिस तरह executive summary में मैं आपको बता रहा था कि that it's important to write roles. So वहाँ पे maybe you will just write down briefly, but in section 4 you can actually write down comprehensively about your role, about the role of your research group. And if you think that in your research group you do not have a certain capability which is very necessary, certain expertise which are very necessary for your proposal, then you should look for some co-PIs. So co-PIs आप उसी सूरत में देखें जब उनकी ज़रूरत हो आपके प्रोजेक्ट में, ना कि जैसे कि आपके manuscripts में you just give guest authorship or you gift authorship to your friends. So that is also unethical, but in particularly in research proposals, there should be, or there is no guest co-PI, or there is no gift co-PIs. Okay, so co-PIs तब ही include करें जब उनकी ज़रूरत हो, or you feel that your research group does not have a certain capability or certain capacity to undergo a certain task, then you should look for some other collaborators, and you should look for co-PI. So once you decide that yes, we need a co-PI in our project, then जैसे कि आपने अपने बारे में लिखा है, your expertise, your area of research, on the same lines you will write about your co-PI, that what is his area of research, what is his expertise, and then what would be his role in the project. So roles should be clearly defined in your project. There should not be any ambiguity, or there should not be any vague statement. So the roles of the PI and co-PI should be clearly mentioned. ठीक है, अगर आपका कोई project है जिसमें आपके पास there is an experimental work and the experimental work is supported by some sort of simulations, then you should clearly define that okay, the experimental work would be done by PI and the simulation work would be done by co-PI. So at the end of the day, when the reviewer he reads your project, or when your project goes to the evaluation stage, then it is clear that who would be doing what. Okay, who would be doing what. So that is very important. That should be very clear. Okay, और फिर यहाँ पर academic collaborators के अंदर you will also need some sort of letters from your collaborators. So there is an letter of commitment जो कि आपके co-PIs जो है वो आपको देंगे, और that simple letter in which they will actually they will commit to the project, and they will write down that they will give the 100% input, and these sort of lines are written in those letters. Okay, so you will require the letter of commitment from your academic collaborators. So the next one is the sectoral collaborators. So sectoral collaborators में आपके पास industrial partners हो सकते हैं, या if you have some collaboration from or you want to establish a collaboration from some government research institutes or your government organizations, then you will also need a letter, which is the letter of commitment from your industrial partner or from your collaborator from it can be SMEs, small medium enterprises, or some other enterprises. It can be a private sector, it can be multinational companies, it can be government agencies. So there's a broad spectrum of different organizations that can be your sectoral collaborators. And the thing which you will need again here is the letter of commitment from those who are actually willing to contribute to your project. Or at the same time, sectoral collaborators, they can actually also give some sort of input in terms of cash, in terms of some funding. So if you can arrange some additional funding other than the funding you are actually trying to get from the funding agency, you can, if you are able to secure some money from, or some funds from your industrial partner, then it will be added to your project as a value addition. Or HEC actually encourages that you bring some funds from the industrial sector into your project as well. Okay, so that would be very advantageous for this, and it will increase the success chances of your project. Or contribution from the industrial sector can also be in terms of not just in terms of hard cash, but it can be in-kind contribution. जिसमें आपके पास the industrial partner allows you to use some sort of equipment which is available to him or available to them, and they can also provide some manpower. They can facilitate you in providing services at some discounted rates. Okay, so there can be in-kind contributions as well. Not necessarily you need to arrange the contribution in hard cash. Rather, you can also have contributions that are in kind. So they are not mandatory. But if you can arrange some sort of contributions from industry, then it will enhance the chances of the acceptance of your project. कुछ grants ऐसी हैं जहाँ पर the sectoral collaborators must have to contribute in the project, but not in the NRPU. NRPU is flexible as far as the sectoral contribution from the sectoral collaborators is concerned. TTSF एक रिसर्च ग्रांट है जो कि HEC की है, वहाँ पर सेक्टोरल कोलैबोरेटर्स को कुछ ना कुछ कंट्रीब्यूट करना पड़ता है. हार्ड कैश या इन काइंड कंट्रीब्यूशंस वहाँ पर होती है, और that should be 40% of the total budget of your project. Okay, so in those grants आपको काफ़ी सारी contribution जो है वो arrange करनी होती है, but not in NRPU. So the next is the project description. So project description is basically the heart of your project. So अब जब आप ऊपर से नीचे तक आ रहे हैं, so executive summary आपने लिखी है and you have discussed, I have discussed 3, 4 and 5 points. अभी तक आपने अपने प्रोजेक्ट को comprehensively कहीं पर भी disclose नहीं किया. So this is the section, the project description, where you will actually comprehensively disclose your project. So ये वैसे ही होगा जैसे कि कोई भी एक regular proposal लिखा जाता है जिसके different sections होते हैं. You start from the problem statement, you do some literature survey, then you have you identify the gap, what is the problem, what is the challenge. Then you give some methodology that how you will address this challenge, what would be your method. Then you discuss what would be the impact of your results, how the results could be utilized, what would be the socio-economic effects of such results. So all these things are actually covered in this project description part. And if there are some ethical considerations, you will also discuss them here. Ethical considerations are involved जहाँ पर आपने कोई data survey किया है या किसी personal information को आपने use करना है. So you will just और यहाँ पर कोई animals involved हैं या humans involved हैं, तो वहाँ पर आपने ethical considerations को भी project description में लिखना है. Or it should not be again too lengthy, but it should be conveying all the major aspects of your project. Or if even somebody who is not from that particular field, if he or she reads that project description part, then he should be able to understand the idea, at least the idea, not the technical aspects, but at least he should be able to, he or she should be able to understand what is the crux of your project, what you want to do in this project. Okay, so this is a very important part. और लिटरेचर रिव्यू जो है उसको आप काफ़ी ज़्यादा ब्रॉड ना करें इसमें, just keep it very concise.